First, though, after months of waiting, businesses can now apply for the government's new federal rent subsidy. The application portal opened today, but the process is happening in stages. Businesses can apply for October rent help today. They do have to wait, though, until next week to apply for November's and until next month for December's rent subsidy. So why do businesses have to keep waiting for the help they need, especially as the number of lockdowns increases? For more on that, we've reached Mary Ng, the Minister of Small Business and International Trade. She's in Toronto, I believe. Hi, Minister. Good to see you as always.
Hi, Vashi. Always terrific to see you and talking about small businesses and the support that is there for them today.
Okay, let's get into that support, because my understanding is the program that opened today after spending some time in legislation and in Parliament, it's now open for application for businesses that need it. But right now they can only apply for the rent that they needed October 1st. That means that they won't be able to apply for December rent, I believe, until December 23rd, so a full month from now. Isn't it unfair, I guess, to keep them waiting for, what happens to a business that needs to pay its December rent but now has to wait almost until January to be able to just apply for that?
Well, Vashi, today it's really heartening that we're going to be able to help many, many small businesses and those in this new program. Just to remind your viewers, you can apply directly as the small business owner. You don't have to go through a landlord, so just apply directly through CRA. We want to make sure that all of those applications come in from our incredible businesses and entrepreneurs so that they can get access to that rent support. They'll be able to see a payment as early as December the 4th, and then the next opening is November the 30th. So we're going to make sure that our systems are ready and ready for this intake for our businesses so that they get that support that they need.
Yeah, and certainly, Minister, I'm not trying to take away from the help that the program will offer. I know that it's being amended to reflect some of the design flaws of the first program. In particular, as you highlight, tenants will be able to apply directly. They don't need to go through their landlords. The last program was predicated on their landlords. But respectfully, that didn't address the question about why somebody who is worried about their ability to pay their December 1st rent has to wait until the end of December to even apply for that help.
Well, Vashi, we want to make sure that the system will take in all of the applications that are coming in, to which I expect there will be many, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing because this rent support deals with up to 65% of that of rent for businesses. But if you are in an area where you are locked down because of COVID-19, which we of course are seeing in different places around the country, this will give you that additional 25% lockdown support help. So some businesses will get up to 90% of their rent paid. And this is the kind of support that I think is just so important. And we're just hearing from businesses that they absolutely need it. And we're really pleased that this that they get to begin that process to access it today.
I agree completely that it is so important. My question, I guess, though, is imagine you're in a situation where in Toronto, for example, or in Peel, the lockdown just occurred. You've lost all your ability over the next week and a half to make any revenue, and you've probably already lost a lot of revenue due to restrictions that were already in place in those places. You're still in a bind on December 1st, right? And are you saying that it's just technology, that you're worried about the ability to process all the applications that led to this phased approach? There's no way to speed it up for people?
Well, I would say that the measures that we have put out for businesses is a suite of measures. I mean, one of that, of course, is the very important rent subsidy, which we're talking about right now. But remember, we also put out liquidity support. We are also going to be putting out the $20,000 additional support for small businesses. And it's very heartening to see that we have almost 800,000 businesses that have taken advantage of that additional liquidity support that is just bridging them. And then, of course, paying for payroll, which is another significant expense. So the way that the businesses that I have talked to, there's no question it's very difficult. And I want businesses to be assured that we are working as fast, as hard as we possibly can to help them through this. But we want to, but we also continue to provide a suite of emergency measures so that it is all-encompassing to help our businesses through this tough time.
Right. You mentioned one of those measures, additional liquidity. You expanded the CBA. When does the extra liquidity come into place? When will that be available to small businesses?
Well, we're working with Canada's financial institutions. There are over 200 financial institutions in both banks and credit unions that are our partners in this, that have distributed the CEBA loans to the many small businesses out there. We are putting the finishing touches on that, and we hope to get that out as quickly as we possibly can. I know how difficult it is for businesses, but I also know that the suite of measures that are out there are doing what it needs to do, which is to just help them through this time and to bridge us through beyond to COVID-19.
I understand, but the suite of measures that you're referring to, especially this one, the CEBA was widely accessed. It is extra liquidity, especially when there's a lockdown, is very important to small businesses. You announced this weeks ago, and yet it's still not available. And you say it's coming as quickly as possible. Do you have a specific date for business owners that are watching, hoping to access it?
Well, I can say to businesses that we're working very fast. As fast as we possibly can with Canada's financial institutions, so that we can get this very important support to our businesses. What can I say at this point? I want to really thank our small businesses, because I just know how tough it is, and I want to thank them because they are doing their part to help all of us stay safe in our communities, and I want to assure them that we will just keep doing this.
I understand that completely, Minister. But they do have very, I think, genuine questions about when the help you're promising is available for them to access it. Do you think that CEBA extension will happen in the next week, for example?
We're working very quickly, Vashi. And you know what? You're going to be the first to know. I promise you.
I look forward to that.
I'm going to be calling you, Vashi.
We'll be ready to tell our audience for sure. Yeah. Many of them are interested. Before I let you go, Minister, one more question.
Yes.
You're not the Minister of Revenue, but certainly this has to do with small business. The opposition is asking for essentially your government to ask the CRA to put a pause on audits of small businesses during the pandemic. I know that the Minister of Revenue says that would kind of amount to, and I'm paraphrasing, but political interference in an independent institution. But back in 2017, your government expressly suspended remaining political audits of charities. So you have specifically suspended audits in the past. Why not try to do that this time as another way to help small businesses?
Well, I think I'll let my colleague, the Minister of Revenue, speak to that. And she has, over the course of the day earlier, she and I were actually on the same announcement to announce today's opening of the application. And the CRA, of course, is independent. But I want small businesses to know that this government is steadfast with you every single step of the way here in COVID-19. And we're going to keep doing that because we just know how important you are to all of our communities, all of our main streets. And we need to keep working together so that we get on that road to recovery beyond COVID-19. You are absolutely essential to our economy.
Minister, if the precedent is there, though, if it's not, we're not, no one's asked for a complete end to audits of small businesses, but if the precedent is there to be able to pause a certain type of audit for a certain amount of time, why not examine even the possibility?
Well, I think I'm going to leave the carrying out of duties with respect to that portfolio to my colleague minister. But I think what I can say is that we have been steadfast at making sure that small businesses are indeed supported. But the one thing I actually do want to share with Canadian businesses as well is that the really good progress we made with the United Kingdom. We announced the other day that we reached a continuity agreement between Canada and UK. This is really terrific news for our Canadian producers and exporters so that they can continue to have access to that important market and continue to experience a 98% tariff reduction. And we're looking forward to making sure that businesses continue to get that continuity and that stability that they need, which is just so important right now at this time, keeping people employed and making sure that businesses are supported.
We'll have to have you back to talk about that deal I did want to get to, but I unfortunately ran out of time. Thanks, Minister. I appreciate your time this evening.
Good. Thanks so much, Vashi.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.